My goodness, I'm always amazed when everybody is sitting so still and well behaved at the beginning of the service. It's like, what happened? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Reverend Mary Murray Shelton, the community spiritual leader here. I want to welcome all those of you that are with us online this morning as well. This is the first Sunday of spring. And it's actually going to be a warm day today, I understand, at least warmer than what we've had. So let's celebrate that. I'm going to invite you to stand and walk around and say good morning to each other, greet people that you haven't seen in a while, and introduce yourselves. Those of you online, go ahead and have another cup of coffee. We're going to be right back in just a minute, but make sure you feel welcome as well. All right. Well, good morning and welcome to the Sunday of our annual meeting. I hope some more of our members are going to filter themselves in here by the time we get started for that. But we have with us this morning Bodhi Sechko, and you all know Bodhi. So without further ado, I'm going to invite you to stand and join us in the opening song.
So this has very simple words and some different parts if you'd like to join us. Peace, peace, peace is now. So one melody goes like this. Peace, peace, peace is now. Another melody goes like this. Goes like this.
So it is. You may be seated. Thank you. So now that we have said hello and raised our voices, I'm going to invite you to silence your cell phones so they don't interrupt us during the service. And we're going to prepare now to turn within so that we get the inside as ready as the outside for the morning celebration. So Rick Walt is our morning prayer practitioner. He's going to come pray us in.
Good morning. So I invite each and every one to close your eyes or whatever makes you comfortable. Take a deep breath and ground to Holy Mother Earth. And let go of any energy that feels like a hindrance of meeting that energy of the infinite one that we call God. For God truly is all that there is. Every thought, everything we see, every thought that is yet to be thought, its genesis is all in the creative law created by God. So right here, right now, as we open up to that energy of God, just know that today's service is perfect, that the words from Reverend Mary reach your heart, that the music by our illustrious Bodhi touches your soul deeply. For it is a beautiful day, and each and every one of us are beautiful manifestations of God in form. And knowing that that is the truth of who we are, I invite us all to say, and so it is. So we had a practitioner retreat yesterday, and I'm inviting the practitioners that were there yesterday to come on up, and we wrote a little chant for you. So.
I think we even have the words. Look at that. Mary's a wizard. Look at that. So we wrote this chant together. It's all right. Yeah, you can come around. And it's called Bridge of Love. And what we do is we get together and everybody writes different lines and different affirmations, and we hammer it out together, and we straggle and we rough it and tough it, and we go, no, my line, which is not how it actually happens, because everybody's so collaborative and so incredibly, we've all known each other a long time, and it was such a sweet, like a family reunion. And so we came up with this chant together, a very collaborative experience. And if you'd like to join in, if you can feel it, I am a bridge of love. Where'd my words go? On the floor. No, it's just right here. I had it right here. Sure. You guys, you ready? Yeah. Remember, we got intro twice, and then we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I am a bridge of love, guided by the sunshine of my soul. I am a bridge of love, guided by the sunshine of my soul. Honoring the space between peace, joy, and love is the truth of me. Break through to the infinite one. Break through to the infinite one. Break through to the infinite one. Sing it with us. I am a bridge of love, guided by the sunshine of my soul. I am a bridge of love, guided by the sunshine of my soul, honoring the space between peace, joy, and love is the truth of me. Here we go, breakthrough. Breakthrough to the infinite one. Breakthrough to the infinite one. Breakthrough to the infinite one. Bring it down, bring it down. I am a bridge of love. Try that. I am a bridge of love. 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 The Golden Gate Practitioner Choir. We had fun. So when Mary said the theme was peace, oh, that's an interesting. Oh, she got my Pieces Now hat. Look at that. And who was at the Pieces Now concert at the Civic Center? Linda was there. She was my assistant. Oh my God. Anyway, this chant comes from that. No, that was the opening chant. This is a different song. So many songs, so little time. The Art of Peace. Oh, and you have a line on this one. It goes like this. Study the art of peace. Study the art of peace. Study the art of peace today. You ready? Here we go. Study the art of peace. Study the art of peace. Study the art of peace today. Okay, here we go. You got it. Hey, hey, na na na. Hey, na na na. Here we go. Study the art of peace. Study the art of peace. Study the art of peace today. Well, it seems like war is a way of life for most of the earth. Fighting over water and oil and gold, arguing what is worth. Well, I like to think there's a better way to work as a team, just like Martin Luther King. Well, I have a dream. Study the art of peace. Study the art of peace. Study the art of peace today. So before we spend our money on guns, we have another choice. Speak the truth out from your heart. We have a powerful voice. Find new ways to create peace. You make a difference. Open the door to common ground. Hey, it makes the most sense. Study the art of peace. Can't hear you. Study the art of peace. Study the art of peace today. Isn't Amanda great? She just rocks, man. It's like, well, sitting real still at the end of day, I find my inner peace. Breathing in and breathing out, the joy starts to increase. One step forward, I keep on track, guided by the inner light. The purpose of life is a giving love, you know, it just feels right. Here we go. Study the art of peace. Study the art of peace. Study the art of peace today. One last time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So great to be here.
All right. So the year theme for Centers for Spiritual Living is rising higher, growing deeper. You know, when we grow deeper with our roots, it gives us more stability to grow higher. Or if we do like redwoods and we grow our roots outward 3 times as far, then we entangle with everybody else's, and that gives us stability to grow higher. Both of those things are important: community, depth, and lifting up. So we're looking at all of those things as we go through the year. And this month, the theme has been cultivating peace during change. So, you know, change is really always happening, but we seem to be experiencing a particularly large amount of it in the world at this time. And so some of that can seem chaotic and disruptive and scary. And so this month, we've been talking about change, and I want to talk about appearances a little bit today as well. The idea that God is more than this. God is more than this moment. God is more than whatever our concerns or worries or fears or problems are. And God is also more than all the most wonderful things that we have experienced or can imagine. So when we talk about the Infinite One, as they did in the song this morning, the Infinite One, it's like we can't conceive of the immensity and all of the possibilities included in that infinite. And a long time ago, the Agape Choir, led by Ricky Byers, had a song called God is More Than This, and they name all these things, the most awful, the most wonderful, that God is more than this. And maybe that becomes a useful mantra in the midst of challenge and in the midst of triumph, that however great we think we are or the situation is, God is more than that. However terrible or awful or worrisome the situation may be, God is more than that. So we sometimes minimize, not necessarily intentionally, but we sometimes minimize God's power or God's ability by thinking that what we're facing is so much bigger than anything anybody can figure out what to do about, or so much more wonderful than anything anybody else has done or experienced. We have a tendency to look at the world and make assumptions about it. And we start that very young. So there's a story about a nursery school teacher who's delivering a station wagon full of kids one day when a fire truck zooms past, and sitting in the front seat of the truck is a Dalmatian dog with the driver. And the children start discussing the dog's duties. Now, these are nursery school kids, remember, so one of them says they use him to keep the crowds back. And another one says, no, he's just for good luck. But a little girl kind of put the cap on it, this little tiny girl, when she announced very confidently, they use the dogs to find the fire hydrants. Now, that is a very logical assumption, right? A very logical assumption. And if that were the case, I have no doubt that they would have no trouble finding the fire hydrants, but it might come after a certain amount of plots of grass and trees, you know, and totem poles, or telephone poles. But they use the dogs to find the hydrants. That's an assumption. It's a logical assumption. It's incorrect, but it's a logical assumption, right? And I wonder how many assumptions we make in one day that are logical but incomplete, or just plain inaccurate. But within ourselves, when we make an assumption that is a logical assumption, we don't think of it as an assumption, we assume it's the truth, that we're making up the truth, that we have hit upon the real reason why something happens or why something looks the way it does. And so the appearances that we look at can be so convincing that we are not able to see past them into a better outcome or a better possibility. When you think of the worst possible day that you might be able to imagine, and there were way worse pictures than this of 9/11 on the internet. When we think about the worst possible day and what a shock it is, and how difficult it is to imagine getting past it or figuring it out or knowing why it happened, that is a situation in which God is not fazed by that. God is not outmatched by that or unable to respond to that. Or when we think about the most wonderful day we can imagine, and of course I chose my daughter-in-law and my grandson for this picture, the most wonderful day that you can imagine, the delight, perhaps, of a little baby and the way they're experiencing something new in the world, either of those can feel maximal to us. Maximally challenging and frightening and overwhelming, maximally delightful and celebrational and thrilling. Either one of those, we find that God is much more than either one of those. So Ernest Holmes says to us in Words That Heal Today, "We are so weighted with experiences that contradict faith. It is not easy to turn from negative conditions to a positive faith in God. Carefully, we should cultivate the smallest spark of faith. And we should always be reminding ourselves that there is a power upon which we may rely. We must throw ourselves with complete abandonment into this power, for it will never fail us." Speaking about the worst possible appearance, right? God is not too busy to bother with a huge catastrophe or too distracted by other things to care about our joy. God is right there, whatever it is. This isn't the best that God can do. There's more. There's always more. Is not overwhelmed by ecstatic joy, is not fazed by the worst possible thing, and is not requiring massive worship to bring us something good or to bring us something more than all that we've experienced before. Thomas Troward said in the Edinburgh Lectures, "So long as we judge only from the information conveyed to us by our outward senses, we're working on a plane of secondary causation and see nothing but a succession of conditions forming part of an endless train of antecedent conditions coming out of the past and so stretching away into the future. And from this point of view, we're under the rule of an iron destiny from which there seems no possibility of escape." Lao Tzu says, "Be careful what you water your dreams with. Water them with worry and fear, and you will produce weeds that choke the life from your dream. Water them with optimism and solutions, and you will cultivate success. Always be on the lookout for ways to turn a problem into an opportunity for success. Always be on the lookout for ways to nurture your dream." So we live in this bizarre mix of conditions in the world right now. And it can be difficult to see, we have a fire truck going by right now. I'll bet they don't have a Dalmatian. Who knows if they will ever find the hydrant, but off they go. We send them with blessing. It's going to be good. Whatever it is, they're going to get there and do what they need to do. You see, there are moments every minute we get to choose what we're going to put our attention on, and we get to choose how we're going to judge that moment. Is this a moment of possibility? Is this a moment of ordinariness? Is this a moment of great delight? Do I have something to look forward to? Is there something that I regret? Is there something that I'm worried about? If we were to vote on those, we would all be able to pick out things that we could put into most of those categories. To forget, though, that that there's no limit to what can unfold. To forget that is to put ourselves in a box where all we're doing is repeating the same thing that we experienced yesterday, the same beliefs, the same attitudes, the same results. Reverend Mary Mannon Morrissey used to say, some people live 100 years. Some people live every day the same day. They repeat the same day over and over again for 100 years, basically. Just doing the same things, never questioning their assumptions about the world, never questioning those places they've solidified and calcified. And when we never question them, what happens is we train the filtering system in our mind to filter out other possibilities. The brain is an amazing thing. It's designed to support us. It's designed to bring us more information about what we already like or what we already put our attention and our belief in. And so it filters out that which contradicts that. It's just how the brain works, because we can't possibly process everything that's going on around us 24 hours a day. We would just implode. It would be too much. So the filtering system operates so that what we already have put our attention on over and over again, it brings us more and more information about that, which means that it tends to reinforce what we already believe. And when exceptions make their way through, because they do from time to time, then we have the luxury and the comfort level of being able to assume those are just exceptions. They don't really challenge our belief because they're just exceptions, right? It's the exception that proves the rule. So we never have to question our own belief system. Now, that's very comfortable for us, and maybe to some degree that can keep us safe because we're within a comfort zone that we've learned how to navigate and operate in, and we carry it around with us everywhere we go. The difficulty is people. People get in the way of what we already know and assume. They're constantly making trouble for us. They're constantly giving us experiences or opportunities that push us out of our comfort zone. I mean, why in the world would the infinite put us on a planet with a bunch of other so obnoxious creatures as other human beings? You know, when we have our kids, they argue with us, they disagree with us. We know, because we've had experience, we know what could be good for them. They don't care. They don't care what we already know. They challenge everything. My mother made a comment once that I felt really bad about as an adult, because I was an adult when she said it. She was referring to, I think, someone else in the family who didn't have kids. And somehow the conversation was about how this person was very rigid about what they believed or something. And Mom said, well, she never had any kids to put her down. And I thought, oh boy, you know. So when we're different than our parents, because sometimes we're very similar to them, you know, sometimes we're very like one or the other or both of our parents, and it's a really happy family because everybody operates the same way. But stick somebody in there who's different and you're going to have problems. They're going to cause problems, or you're going to cause problems for them, and then it just escalates from there. It's not that we mean to. It's just that we want to be such good parents. We want to prevent them from having any challenges or suffering that causes them pain, don't we? How many of you are parents? And didn't you want to keep keep your children safe, keep them out of trouble, keep them from getting injured or their feelings hurt? And didn't you just want to go and flatten any kid that hurt their feelings? Sure. And sometimes it's our own kids who are flattening themselves because they put themselves into a situation where the universe just knocks them for a loop, right? We can't prevent that, it seems, no matter how hard we try. I can remember when my son was born saying that I didn't want to screw him up. And a really good friend of mine who had 2 little kids already said to me, "Oh, Mary, you will." And she said, just whenever you do something that you think about afterwards and wish you hadn't, just put $50 in the therapy fund for them, for the future. And after Luke grew up, Amanda and I took him aside and we said, look, we did the best we could. Your dad and Cindy did the best they could. And all of us have made mistakes, but we can't fix that now. But you now, you're an adult, now it's your responsibility to look at what needs to be fixed in your life and get your own therapist or do your own work, whatever you need to do to get that right for yourself, because we've done everything we could and we hope we didn't screw you up too much. We each of us, no matter what we grew up with, no matter what we brought forward into our adult lives, whatever our parents did or didn't do, we are stuck with ourselves, yeah? And so the point of this is then, well, what happens to get me unstuck? When I was 21 years old, I thought I was done. In other words, that I was solidified, that I was stuck with myself and that was it. And no matter how good or bad it was, this was just going to be me, and that was the life I had ahead of me. And then, like some other people in here, I did a personal growth training at the end of the 1970s. And I learned something that for some reason I did not have an awareness of, which was I had choices. And if I wanted to change something in my life, I had the power to do it. That was a revelation to me, that I could still change. And mainly what it came back to was the idea that I could change what I thought about stuff. I could change what I said to myself about stuff. And what I discovered at the beginning of that process was that when I started to change what I said to myself, it changed how I felt. It lifted me into more optimism, more hopefulness. I saw the world as having more possibilities than I had seen before or imagined before. And still, when I think back to that time, it reminds me of how powerful that is and that it's still true. It doesn't matter how much we think we've learned or expanded or grown or how much we've awakened into a greater awareness. The possibility is that we still can change what we're saying to ourselves. We still can change the way we're thinking. Once we get comfortable with a new paradigm, a little bit bigger comfort zone, we still tend to hang out there. It's just a little bigger than it was before. Where my comfort zone was maybe this big, now it's this big, and I think, wow, good for me, I'm all grown up. Well, but think of the space that's available to me that I'm not using yet. I see in this writing from Howard Zinn, he said, to be hopeful in bad times is not just foolishly romantic. It is based on the fact that human history is a history not only of cruelty, but also of compassion, sacrifice, courage, and kindness. What we choose to emphasize in this complex history will determine our lives. If we see only the worst, it destroys our capacity to do something. If we remember those times and places, and there are so many, where people have behaved magnificently, this gives us the energy to act, and at least the possibility of sending this spinning top of a world in a different direction. And if we do act in however small a way, we don't have to wait for some grand utopian future. The future is an infinite succession of present moments. And to live now as we think human beings should live, in defiance of all that is bad around us, is itself a marvelous victory. What we're wanting to do is not pretend. Thank you, let's don't pretend. Let's don't pretend we don't have a dog in the room. Thank you, Coco, for reminding us of your presence. Yes. What we want is to not to pretend that there isn't anything horrible. We don't want to do that. That's not the truth. We experience horrible things in the world, but not to stop with that and think that that's the whole truth, because then we miss the rest of it, and the rest of it can be very subtle, because it can be in little pockets of people or organizations or places where the message is coming through, but we don't take it in as strongly because the worry or the concern or the volume at which we get bad news is so much bigger than all of the little stuff that's going on that is going into greater possibilities instead of fewer. Are you with me here on this? Okay? So think about, there's a movie out there. I like Christopher Nolan's stuff when he goes off into science fiction and that kind of thing. And one of the movies I come back to again and again to watch, and every time I watch it, I understand a little bit more, is Interstellar with Matthew McConaughey. And that is primarily about time and space, which is the three-dimensional experience that we have on Earth, and how relative it is, not absolute, the way that we are experiencing it in one place on this planet, in this galaxy. But throughout the universe, it's not nailed down like this. It changes depending on where we are. If we look at the whole universe out there, what we see and what we don't see, and recognize that some of what we're looking at is not even real because it's already died and we're just looking at the past. We're looking at light that was, not light that is. Wherever that source is, however many millions of light years away, the star that it came from died before that light made its way to us. So we don't even know what it all looks like out there when we're looking at it through telescopes until we go toward it, and we have to make adjustments for what's really out there. So this is a snapshot from one of the probes that went out there of the universe. And when we think of the power of God, the omnipotence, the all-powerfulness of God, and that God is everywhere present, then that power is everywhere present too, whether it's way out there in space or right here in your chair. The power that we have to choose and to shift inwardly affects what happens outwardly. It affects the way we behave toward other people. It affects the way other people respond to us. So the power is limited not by its own nature. It's limited by our belief. It's limited by our embodiment of it. And it's limited by our alignment with its true nature. So this infinite power that flows through everything and through us, we use it all the time. But if we are out of alignment with the essence of that power, which is always toward wholeness, if we're out of alignment with that, if we're leaving people out, if we're leaving whole groups of people out, if we're leaving countries out, if we're leaving whatever it is, we could filter out any group of people that makes us uncomfortable. To the degree that we are filtering out, we're limiting our own experience of life, our own expression of life, because we have to be in alignment with the whole to use that flow of power, to be in that flow of power. Otherwise, we're trying to swim upstream. And eventually, you know, the universe kind of works like a boomerang. Energy that we put out, it has to come back to us. It's got no place else to go. It has our signature on it. And in truth, it never really left us to begin with, because there's only one. Where would it go? So what we put out belongs to us. So if I put out impatience and annoyance and just plain crabbiness, basically the universe reflects that back to me. I'm going to find a lot of crabby people out in the world. I'm going to find a lot of things to irritate myself. Annoying things, little things and big things, all kinds of stuff. It's going to drive me crazy, right? That's because of where I'm looking from, not necessarily what's out there. So this oneness, this infinite presence of oneness, it doesn't leave anybody out, no matter how much they deserve to be left out. It doesn't leave me out when I am acting in a way that should cause the universe to exclude me because I'm being a real pill. There are days when if gravity was only available for the good, I would have floated away long ago, right? And it's true of all of us. The creative law of the universe is like gravity. It just operates. It really doesn't care whether we believe in it or not. It really doesn't care whether we know it exists or not. You think gravity is worried about whether we believe in it? Neither is the creative law. It just operates. It produces more of everything. And we're the ones that are setting that into motion, too, with what we believe, what we repeat, what we align with, and all of that. Ernest Holmes said, whenever anyone conceives a new idea, thinks up a new plan for procedure, which is in accord with the divine nature, then God is going forth anew into creation through that individual. And that person may and should expect that all the power and all the presence there is will creatively flow through his individual word because he has complied with the fundamental law of harmony governing all life. You know, when we make an assumption that something is so, or something isn't so, or something will work, or something won't work, it does. I think it was Henry Ford or somebody said, whether you believe you can or believe you can't, you're right. That's how it works. So what we do, whoever we do it to, whatever we do, is really done to ourselves. A Course in Miracles says, when I am healed, I am not healed alone. That as we become more aware and more willing to open our hearts to oneness, even when it's hard, even when it hurts, to do that, even when we don't understand how that could be true, when we open up to that, we are making that space for ourselves. We're doing essentially that open-heartedness to the part of us that's little and small and hurting or hurtful, yeah? So we make assumptions about the world. One of the assumptions we made about the world for a long, long time was that no runner could run a mile in less than 4 minutes. And this is about Roger Bannister and after Roger Bannister. So runners had been chasing this goal seriously since at least 1886. And that challenge involved the most brilliant coaches and gifted athletes in the world. For years, milers had been striving against the clock, but the elusive 4 minutes had always beaten them. It had become as much a psychological barrier as a physical one. And like an unconquerable mountain, the closer it was approached, the more daunting it seemed. Experts, you always have to watch out for experts. Experts believed they knew the precise conditions under which the mark would fall. It would have to be in perfect weather, 68 degrees Fahrenheit, and no wind, on hard, dry clay and in front of a huge, boisterous crowd, urging the runner on to his best ever performance. But Roger Bannister did it on a cold day, on a wet track, at a small meet in Oxford, England, before a crowd of just a few thousand people. When Bannister broke the mark at 3 minutes, 59.4 seconds, even his most ardent rivals breathed a sigh of relief. Once they saw it could be done, they did it too. 46 days after Bannister, John Landy, an Australian runner, broke the barrier again with a time of 3 minutes, 58 seconds. Just a year later, 3 runners broke the 4-minute barrier in a single race. More than 1,000 runners have conquered a barrier that had once been considered hopelessly out of reach. New Zealand's Sam Ruth made history by becoming the youngest athlete and the first 15-year-old to run a mile in under 4 minutes, breaking the record by 2 seconds on March 19th of this year at Mount Smart Stadium in Auckland. I have heard, whether or not this is true, I don't know. I have heard that Roger Bannister realized when he was being timed, when he was running in preparation for a race, he realized that he didn't think his body could tell the difference between a couple tenths of a second, more or less. And so it occurred to him that if his body couldn't tell the difference, why couldn't he go a tenth of a second faster? Of course he could go a tenth of a second faster. And so he did. But the idea happened before the accomplishment happened. If we, if he did that, that could be a model to all of us, that no matter how difficult or impossible the situation that we face appears to be, could we believe that God, through us, might know something just a little bit more or less that would make a difference? Could we believe that the God of universes, through us, could cause something to happen just a little bit more or just a little bit less and allow it to make an enormous difference in the world? Now, I don't know to all of us in the world if it makes a huge difference that Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile mark as far as racing and runners are concerned. But the reason that it does concern us, even now, or maybe even more now than when he broke that record, is that we need to know that we don't have to solve everything, and we don't even have to solve one thing in the huge challenges in the world by ourselves alone, and we don't have to do anything enormous in order to begin to heal the challenges that face us in our world. Maybe it's more a matter of a whole group of people believing it's possible that that can happen, that God is not stuck. Then what does that mean? It means that we need to start where we are and do small things often that are open-hearted. Just begin to give each other the benefit of the doubt and be this much kinder in the moment when we don't want to be. Just a little bit. You know, how in the world can we expect our Congress, for example, to be braver when we've already decided there's nothing they can do, or nothing they're going to do, or nothing they're smart enough to do, or courageous enough to do, or visionary enough, or whatever it is? How can we assume that the problem of clergy molesting children in all the denominations of the world can be changed if we are withholding kindness from those who are abused because they're somehow tainted or something. The universe is so vast that the possibility of us making a difference is with us right here in this room. Now, what one thing can we do? Okay, I'm going to invite you to do something right now. I'm going to invite you to turn to somebody around you and simply look at them, really see them, and say, I'm glad you're here. Just turn to somebody, and if there's nobody near you, go find someone. And just say, really look at one another. And you at home, we're glad you're here. Every one of you, we're glad you're here. Thank you. And thank you, thank you, thank you. I am glad that you, all of you, I am glad that you are here, every one of you. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So let's just anchor this in prayer really quickly now. We turn within with the recognition that God is all there is everywhere, always, including right here. That omnipresent mystery is the essence of everybody, always, no exceptions. All of us online, all of us in this room, all of us wherever we are in the world, we're filled with the divine presence because all of it is everywhere, always. This wisdom lives in us. What we need to know is right here, right now. God is more than all I can imagine, all I can desire, all I can hope for. God is more than all of it, more than my judgments, more than my awe and amazement. And so this divine presence, which is so huge, so magnificent, so incredible, is in each one of us in this place. So we let go of our belief in limitation. We let go of our belief in separation. And we open our hearts in this moment to every soul that ever was, all of the souls that are now, all that are coming, without exception. However good or bad we think they are, we open our hearts and make space right now in the great mystery. And we let ourselves be led by that love and its wisdom. This is a great blessing and responsibility, and we take it in with such appreciation and tenderness, and we let this prayer go into the law with love to do its work in us. We let it go and let it be, and together we say, and so it is. Yes. Please stand and join me in the morning affirmation. Together. I let go of my belief in negative conditions having power over me. I am able to see through this passing show and refocus my attention and belief on something greater. The power of the all good is right where I am always. God is so much more than any condition, and so it is. Thank you. You may be seated. And would the ushers please come forward? You're going to receive the offering right now, and if you are online and would like to make a donation, please text the dollar amount you want to give to the number on your screen and then just follow the directions. For everybody here this morning, we are going together to bless all of the offering we're receiving now and all that's been sent during the week and all of the prayers and everything that has been given to Golden Gate. So we're going to bless that with this giving offering. And what I'm going to invite you to do is to place your hands over your heart and join us with this blessing. This gift I give is God in action. I now send it forth to bless and to prosper. I know that everywhere it goes, it is creating a world living in love, one heart and one thought at a time. And so it is. Thank you. Bodhi, it's all yours, sir.
Sitting on a bench one day, I asked the Lord, teach me how to pray. And as I opened up my heart to Him, it came to me where to begin. Let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. Let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. In those moments when I felt so close, I must own the consequence for the path that I chose. Time and time again I reach for the sky, only to remember truth lies inside. Let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. Let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. So I keep breathing one breath at a time. My spirit soars, I accept my life. Loving you comes from loving me, and in this balance lies the way to be. Let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. Oh, let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. Let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. Feel your love.
So we do, all of us here on behalf of Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living, bless this offering and send it out into the world for faith, in the infinite. So it is. So if you're with us for the first time this morning, go to the back table back here on this side and have a word with Galen. She will point you to all the handouts that are there. You can take any that you like. Be sure you pick up a welcome packet, take out the blue card inside and fill it out and give it to Galen. She'll give you a little book as our thank you for being here this morning and our invitation also for you to come be with us often in the future so we get to know you. Also, I want to thank everyone who went out of their way this morning to make sure that we got everything set up and ready for today. And this flower-filled extravaganza over here this morning is by Jane Ritchie and Pauline Frantz. So we want to thank them for doing that this morning. Well done, ladies. That's very good. All right, and thank everybody, of course, that did that. Today is our annual membership meeting. After the service, we're going to have a light lunch. So those of you that are staying for the meeting, the lunch will be delivered here pretty soon. And I forgot to print out the members list that you're supposed to sign in on if you're a member. So we're going to have a sign-up thing over here by the food table. If you are officially a member of Golden Gate, print your name, then sign it, okay? If you have not officially been welcomed on a Sunday, then you're not probably officially a member. So if you question it, you're not. But that doesn't mean you can't have lunch or attend the meeting. You can. But there's one thing we're going to vote on. You won't be able to vote, but you're welcome to be here for all of it. Same with those of you that are online. So we're looking forward to that. That's coming up right after the service this morning. Also, the visioning class is going to begin April 17th online with Leslie Janetti and Karen Frost, two of our licensed practitioners. And you can register for it from our website. Just go to the class tab and you can find it there. And you can register for that. You can sign up back on the information table back there, or the activity table, to let us know you're interested as well. Also, the date coming up for the food bank is April 8th. If you'd like to be on that team, you have until April 1st to let Ellen Nicosia know that you want to be included on that team during that month. So you can text her or give her a voicemail message. Just give her your information so she can get you on that list. Also, snacks. We don't need snacks this morning because we have food coming, but generally we have snacks every Sunday. And between now and June, the end of June, you can sign up to bring snacks one Sunday each month. No, through May. So that would only be probably now April and May, like twice. That's not too much. Sign up sheet is back on the information, on the activity table. And we have two other areas where you can give sacred service. One is altars. You're welcome to sign up back there for a particular Sunday or for a consistent Sunday once a month. Also, our hospitality team, I'm happy to welcome Mariana Stefancic back to the Sunday hospitality team this week. And we are looking for additional people to participate. Also, you can sign up back there for that. And before I invite the practitioners to surround the room for the closing prayer, I want to let you know Bodhi has a table right over here of his things. And next Sunday, we had scheduled as Stump Reverend Mary Sunday, which is, the Sunday that you give me questions, right? I'm going to defer that 1 week to the first Sunday in April, because on Friday of this week, I am having surgery on my foot to remove a bone spur from the top of a bunion. Not the bunion, just the bone spur. But even though the doctor made light of it, Amanda sort of said to me, I don't think you should be standing up on that foot trying to do a talk on Sunday after a Friday, procedure. So she talked me into that finally. So,
especially when you need to be light on your feet.
Yes, I plan to have one foot up high probably too. So next Sunday, Karen Drucker is going to do the music and the message. She will be here to do that. She changed her schedule to step in and do that at the last minute for me for next Sunday. So please come and support her and give her lots of kudos for being willing to do that for me next week. And then I'll be back the first Sunday in April, maybe with my foot up in the air, doing Stump Reverend Mary. So we'll do that in 2 weeks rather than next week. Okay, now, practitioners, would you surround the room? And we're going to finish up with our prayer this morning. And as we pray together, all of us, you're going to hear all of us praying. Just allow it to wash over you and settle into your being, whether you can understand who's saying what or not, okay? And so it is. Please stand and join us for the closing blessing and song. As we do this blessing together, we're blessing each other and ourselves. I now walk so that whoever walks beside me dwells in the presence of God, and whoever places a hand in mine is lifted, and whoever thinks of me is illumined with God consciousness. For spirit and all people and I are one eternally, and so it is.